We'll start, as we always do, I suppose, with an injury update. How are the guys after Bristol?
Yep, few knocks and wounds, but most of them come through Bristol okay, so that's good news. Few managed minutes for Tuesday that we've got to look at. A few injuries as we know about. So Tom Hamer, Jacko, the usual ones. Couple of suspensions that will lead in. So people probably don't know, but Ethan Erahon and Saxon Early are suspended for Tuesday as well through the competition. So we've got a few jigsaw puzzles to work out ready for tomorrow night.
I suppose that's quite frustrating, especially for Ethan. He would have probably been in line for at least some minutes. Like you say, it was touch and go for the weekend, didn't make it, but it would have been a great game to bring him back.
It would have been a great game to get some minutes in, so we'll see, and then we'll see how he is ready for Saturday. And it would have been a great game for Saxon Early to come back in and support the squad and get some minutes. But again, like the competition rules said, they're 2 yellow suspensions for this one, really.
Talking about the game, I suppose that the importance of it is slightly elevated because it's a winner takes all, isn't it, to get through to the next round?
Yeah, we want to go through. We want to go through to the next round. We know it's going to be tough. They're obviously the best kids in the world, not just the best kids in the country. They're the best kids in the world. They're the ones that they'll be bringing down. But we think we need to put a team out there that we think can win the game. But with all the injuries and league games coming thick and fast, we have to be mindful of not risking too many personnel as well. We've had some great performances like Paudie O'Connor and Tendai, but they've done every game that they can be involved in bar league games. So we just have to make sure, and with players on managed minutes and a few injuries, we've got a bit of a jigsaw puzzle to get right.
I think it's 18 goals in their last 4 games, so they're quite a threat going forward. Does that kind of play into... You don't really think about an under-21s team as much as an attacking threat as you might think, but it's going to be a difficult one for you.
A really tough one. They're the best under-21s team in the country, and they're a really attacking threat. The way they play is like the first team, so there's no doubt that they'll dominate the ball and they'll be really good on the ball. And you've only seen I went to watch them against Chesterfield, and I went to watch them in a couple of other games, and Simpson Pusi is in playing against Sporting Praga at the minute. So the level of those players are really high, but we've got to try and go after the game and try and win the game. And we think we'll have enough experience and enough league games on the pitch to try and win the game.
Looking at some of the players that might feature, I imagine Oisin is probably one that you debate. What's it like for him? I imagine difficult, isn't it? 2 different systems, 2 different players to train with.
Yeah, no, Oisin's been great when he's been in the building with us, so he knows what we're doing. He knows how we want to play. Whether we play the same way might be different because it's a different opposition, but he's great. Unfortunately, MJ's got a broken foot last week, so MJ can't be involved in this one. But yeah, no, Oisin's really ready to go and try and get his opportunity to see what he can do. I
suppose you're fed up of us mentioning the consistency up front, but it's kind of been, I suppose, forgotten. The midfield as well, that keeps changing what with injuries and whatnot. We talk about consistency, and you mentioned it quite a lot in the last interview, but it's all about adapting, isn't it, for the opposition?
Yeah, I think we've got to... Consistency is about how we play. More than also the squad needs to fill in at the right points. Consistency in how we want to play, rather than it being the consistency in the personnel. I think the personnel has changed and naturally has to change, with the competition and the Saturday, Tuesday. But it's more so who can come into the team and bring the consistency in what we want from those roles and responsibilities. Where it's leading the line up front, whether it's the midfielders, whether it's the back line. It's more about the consistency of how we play and how we want to be as really.
There's been a lot of talk about Jack, obviously, 2 goals and 2 for him. A lot of people saying he should start, but I suppose it's kind of offset by the fact that he has that threat coming off the bench, and that's different, isn't it, for different players?
Yeah, I think everyone's different for different things, and I think Jack's had a brilliant start to the season. He's doing really well as moving forward. He's really pushing for a start. He comes on and affects the game really well, and I think Jack just needs to affect the game when he starts more. But what he's doing really well is he's making sure that if he's not starting, he's affecting the game coming on. And when he does get 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, he affects the game, and he's scoring goals. So that's all he can do to try and get his start. And then when he gets his start, it's to keep it with affecting the game for 90 minutes.
And you've mentioned your starting 11 versus the finishing 11. Is it almost about telling a story of the game, stamping your authority to start with and then getting the reward out of it as the game goes on?
Yeah, I think we've definitely got to start games better. I thought at Bristol we didn't start very well, or more so didn't start like how we wanted to be. And I think when we start how we want to be, we're a really effective team, and we're really hard to play against. I think if we don't start in the way that we want to start, we're not as hard to play against. So first and foremost, we have to be hard to play against, have to be the team that we want to be. And then as the game opens up and things can happen, I think that's where we start to really come into our own.
And finally, I suppose it's a relief to be back at the LNER. Quite a travel-heavy month this month, so make the most of the home game while you can.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like the lads that are playing are going to need the support from the fans, so it'd be great to get a good crowd down there. It is, we're playing against a huge club in Man City, and huge potential players that are probably of the future that you'll see. Like I said, they're probably the best kids in the world that have been brought from all over, so it's a great opportunity. But in the same sense, I think we need the support from the fans to try and push through this competition and try and get into the next round where we all want to be, and hopefully then we can kick on from there. And we know that a win will take us through, a draw and the penalties with the 2 points will take us through. So hopefully it'll be an exciting game that we can edge and get the better of.
You want to avoid penalties, though, don't you? I imagine.
Yeah, of course you always want to avoid penalties, but if we have to do it that way and we still get through, then that's the best thing. The most important thing is we want to put a team on the pitch that we think can win the game, and we can get through this competition.